in Ciso. Oh, it's fabulous! A strike to get you up off your seats.
Hello and welcome to the Brighton versus Wolves preview. I am joined by Jack Albion and Ben Spaldino. How are we, chaps? All good in the hood?
Love that. Just love that intro. Spaldino. I haven't heard that one in a while.
It's been a while, mate. Thought I'd make you feel a bit special. I know you're a bit fragile today, so I thought I'd make you
horrendous. Yeah.
Yeah. You had a good night last night?
Could be. Yeah, it was really fun. It could be. If you're looking at my stories today, if it's still live, there was a bit of karaoke involved. Drop the Senorita, obviously, as per. It was a good fun night. Could be a top 10 hangover today, though. Not gonna lie, it's a bad one. But we still made it. Thursday nights, mate. It's the new Saturday. It's the new Friday. Thirsty Thursdays, Jack.
Everyone's saying that Thursday's a weekend now, aren't they?
It is. Genuinely.
On that, Jack, what's your go-to karaoke song?
Oh, good question. Rogue
How long
One.
we got?
Rogue One. I always find it quite fun to do Sabotage by the Beastie Boys. Gets all the crowd moving.
Not familiar with your game.
How's that go again?
Sabotage by the Beastie Boys. Fucking get with the.
I thought you were singing it then.
Like the times. No. Like get with the times. That's like
Give us a little bit. Give us a little bit. I know the Beastie Boys.
Rendition.
Come on, all of y'all. It's a sabotage. Right. Let's never do that again.
Is that it? Fuck it.
No. How do you not know this song?
I actually don't know.
I'm saying get with the. I'm saying get with the times, but the song was released in like the early 90s. But
I was going to say the 90s, June.
Yeah, but it's you know. If not that, I'll just go with My Way by Frank Sinatra. It's a classic,
good one.
That's a great
what about
song.
you, man?
Mine would be Boys to Men, End of the Road, just because we like to sing it with the boys. It's a great tune. It's a great karaoke tune. And then Ben, yours is Senorita by Justin Timberlake, right?
Yeah. Gets everyone going.
That's a great one. Or no, actually, tell a lie. Sorry.
I might have a quick clip on my phone.
Quickly, actually, tell a lie. Mine would be Craig David's 7 Days. That is my go-to karaoke song because he's the GOAT and it's a great tune. Anyway, let's talk about Wolves because that's what we're here to do. Now,
this isn't me, but this is me and my colleague Sam.
Right.
So he's doing my backing vocals. Wait. That's not me singing.
Right, we're going to have to move on now because this is really, really bad. Right.
It might be copyright because it was so good as well.
Yeah. They might think you're actually Justin Timberlake and they might copyright
Justin Timberlake.
Right.
Actually, wait. My go-to is obviously anything by Ed Sheeran. Ed Sheeran and me get along so well. I definitely
Oh God, that one flew straight out of my head, mate.
Yeah, Ben's struggling today, so it might be a long afternoon. Right, listen, we're here to talk about Wolves. They are bottom of the table. They've got 1 point. Gary O'Neill looks like he could potentially be in trouble. I know we mentioned it before, Jack. You've said it before. You feel like this is a game where it will be very typical of Brighton to mess up against a team that's winless in their last 6. They, like I said, have only got 1 point on the board. And times are precarious. And there's also something came out in the press conference as well, Gary O'Neill, which I will bring up later on in the pod, which is quite interesting, I thought. So I will bring that up as well. But firstly, Jack, focusing on the game itself, we've mentioned it previously in the last pod, but do you feel like this is a potential banana skin for Brighton because of how bad Wolves have been? And usually when we come against a lesser opponent, which is, I want to put inverted comments because I don't want to, look as if we're like this massive team and, we're the best team in the land. But when we come against, low blocks, teams aren't, maybe as attacking as other teams, we do sometimes struggle. Do you think that'll be the case come Saturday?
I know we're very prone to a banana skin and like I said, I don't want to be disrespectful to Wolves because they're a huge club, but they're not having a very good season. I think any Wolves fan can see that. We've played them already this season, and that was a lot tighter than I think people expected.
Good game.
It was unnecessarily... Yeah, it was a good game, enjoyable game. It was unnecessarily tight at the end when we made a little bit of a accident, and I think it's Tommy Doyle scored an absolute screamer. So there's good players in that team. They're really in trouble this season. But, you know what, I've watched them a few times on TV, and I don't think they've been too bad. They just can't seem to get results. Against City, they almost got a point, which would have been a very, very good point. I watched them against Newcastle as well, and they were really, really unlucky to come out of that game with 0 points. Newcastle, Fabian Schär and Harvey Barnes absolutely curled one in the top corner. So, Yeah, I don't know. I think they've been a bit unlucky this season at times, but at the same time, you've got to start winning games, and it doesn't really matter if you're unlucky or whatever. The only thing that matters is points on the table, and they're definitely not doing that. So, they've got to win at some point. Maybe they don't, but I always feel like teams, you very rarely get a winless season, so we've got to be careful of that. It's funny though; a lot of teams have started without a win. It's been a poor season at the bottom end this season.
Yeah. Are you trying to take digs at Palace there, Jack, by any chance?
I wouldn't dream of taking any digs at Crystal Palace Football Club.
Well, you're right.
It's actually sad at this point at how bad Palace are doing. It's like, is it funny? Yes, it is actually still quite funny.
It's hilarious, yeah. Well, talking of winless teams, Ipswich, Palace, Southampton and Wolves are those four that haven't won yet in the Premier League. It could definitely, like you said, Jack, at some point they have to win. If they want to stay in the league, they have to start performing and get those results. But Ben, with regards to Wolves' form, what do you think it's down to? Because, I agree with Jack. I feel like they've actually been pretty decent in games. Like the last game, great example. They took Man City right to the wire. Was it 97th minute, John Stones' goal? So, it's not like they've been performing terribly. They've just not been getting the wins. What do you think, in your opinion, is the reason why they are struggling at the moment? Is it the manager? Is it the personnel? Have they not recruited properly? What are the reasons, in your opinion?
Defensively, they're really, really poor. But I do agree. When I done a quick preview for a Wolves channel the other day, and I just said the same. I don't think they deserve to be where they are. Maybe they've just been really, really unlucky, not just with VAR, obviously, but I think they're defensively just really, really shocking. So, there are a few names. Down the years we've looked at a Wolves squad, and you could name every player. You'd know every player, but I know you don't have to know a player to know if they're good or not. But there are a lot of names that I have never heard of in my entire life at the Wolves team, which maybe proves that they haven't recruited too well, or maybe they will come good. I don't think it's a Gary O'Neill issue. I think he's a really, really good manager, but I think they've just been really unlucky, and it will be classic Brighton. The tides have to change for Wolves. I think they've lost 5 in a row in the league, or might even be all competitions, but the tides will have to change. I mean, they say that we're their bogey team, and that tide could change too at the Amex. So I don't know. I'm not super, super confident going into it, because they are due a win. Surely they're going to get a win soon. Yeah,
well, you say that, talking about the form as well. We've got actually a really, really good record against them. They've only won 3 of their 20 away league games against us, which is quite a big stat, that. So, Jack smiling. Do you feel like that might change on Saturday, or do you feel like we'll carry? Because we've had some really good results. Obviously, the Carabao Cup this season. Was it Undav last season when he had that unbelievable game and he scored a hat trick? I want to say.
2 goals.
2 goals.
Was that 6-4, I think?
6-0.
2 seasons ago. Yeah, we had
2 seasons ago.
We had quite an uneventful 0-0 draw last season at home, which I literally cannot remember anything that happened in that game.
Because nothing did.
I remember it was Monday Night Football, wasn't it? It was Monday Night Football, and everybody before the game was going, "Why the hell have they picked this game?" Like across the country, and I think that was quite obvious why they shouldn't have picked that game in the end. And it was like mid-January, atmosphere was crap. Nobody could be bothered to go there on a Monday. And then off the top of my head, before that, I remember a very strange game where we had loads of COVID cases. And we played I think Aaron Connolly started up front on his own and wasn't very good, and we lost 1-0 to a Romain Saïs goal. I think there was about 14,000 in there. It was when COVID made a little comeback. Do you remember that? COVID was in its
COVID made a comeback.
Yeah, it didn't kill many people. The second time round, it didn't kill many people. It was in its flop era, but
Jack saying era just is incredible. I can't believe that's in your vocabulary.
But COVID was in its flop era. That was the last time I remember Wolves winning down here. So I don't know. The team we've always had. Yeah, COVID bottled it, big time. But it was weird. We have quite a good record against Wolves. I've got a good friend who's a Wolves fan, and we were discussing a few years ago. It was just like, wow, I can't wait for this 0-0 draw where absolutely nothing happens in the game. So there's every chance we could pull out a 0-0 here. I remember a game under Houghton as well at Molineux, which I don't think we had 0 shots on target, which was that was
beautiful.
Pure Houghton ball in the Premier League, and I think it kept us up that day pretty much. So that's a win. But
swings and roundabouts.
Yeah, I don't know. It's an interesting one. We're a bit of a bogey team, and as we saw with West Ham last season, being a bogey team can't last forever.
Yeah.
As we finally lost to West Ham after their every single attempt. So, I'm not too worried about these superstitions. I think whatever happens. I think it's just a coincidence when that sort of stuff happens.
Weirdly, my main worry is if Danny Welbeck will be back, because it sounds like it was a nerve problem. I think someone said that he couldn't actually walk on it, like his leg was numb.
My friend Harry
diagnosed
it correctly.
Forgot about that. Yeah, that's true. So that will be a worry. Like that will be some comeback if he is fit and somehow plays. That will be insane, because the fact that he couldn't feel his leg after getting hit in the nerve at the back. So, I hope he will be back, but I doubt it. Surely he won't.
Talk about matchups, Ben, as well. It'll be interesting to see Jorgen Strand Larsen as well. Big man up top. He's actually hit. I want to say he's hit a bit of form. Maybe he's not exactly electric form, but he's scoring a few goals and he can cause problems. Obviously, coming up against Dunk and potentially Van Hecke could potentially step in. If not, Igor will deputise again. What do you think about that matchup, Jack? Strand Larsen versus our defence. Do you feel like he can cause us a bit of problems?
Yeah, I mean, he's a decent player. I think they've had some interesting recruitment this summer.
Why are you laughing, Ben?
Why are you laughing?
Just talking about someone called Strand Larsen. He's like, he's a decent player. Yeah,
he's a decent player.
That's so funny.
Jack knows ball, mate. Let him speak. Let him talk.
Yeah.
I know.
I watch 150 games in the season. Some of it's got to osmosisly go into my brain. But no, I think they've recruited a bit strangely. I don't think they've had ownership problems, but I think there's definitely been a shift from the ownership to when they first came in and they were just they were spending money freely and getting.
Well, he's the only Portuguese person that's not Portuguese that they bought in the past 10 years.
Yeah. And I think they've sort of shifted to making money. I don't know, something strange going on at Wolves. I think it was clear to see when Lopetegui left a few weeks before the beginning of the season due to recruitment, which was a bit of a strange going on. So, it'll be interesting to see sort of some of their new players. They're a little bit like a Football Manager regen team, when you go 20 years in the future, you don't know many of the players. They're a bit like, was it Watford? Like Watford, 2018 era, who the hell is this guy? But, I like some of their attacking play. I think they've lost two really big players in Max Kilman and Pedro Neto. Will be huge for them. And they haven't really recruited well to replace them, in my humble opinion. Yeah. They were two big players for them, and who's come in to replace them? They were very interested in Alan Webster in the summer, and I believe they're the failed bid. So, I'm not sure where they're going with it, really. They're a strange team.
Talking of their back three, it's against Man City, it was Totti, Dawson. Big up Dawson, by the way. What a guy.
Totti's back, isn't it?
And Bueno. It shows their back three. Apart from Michael Dawson, I don't really know much about Totti and Bueno.
Michael Dawson?
Yeah. Is that what I said? What did I say?
You said Michael Dawson. Craig Dawson.
My bad.
Michael Dawson, Francesco Totti at the back for Wolves. It's insane.
Craig Dawson, that is correct, Jack. Craig Dawson, though, he's an experienced player. He's decent. The Totti and Breno, I'm not really sure about. So it'll be interesting to see
Kinder Bueno.
But right, and then final thing before we get on to predictions, boys.
Got a chocolate bar, an Italian legend and a Spurs legend at the back.
Before we get on to predictions and ignore Ben's terrible joke, Gary O'Neill came out after the Man City game and claimed that it was a subconscious bias towards bigger clubs that influence officials' decisions. Now, Ben, we'll start with you. Do you believe that is the case? Quickly, we'll have a quick couple of minutes debate on this one.
Say that again.
You're the worst.
No, that's something about.
I'll say it again. Wolves manager Gary O'Neill claimed that there's a subconscious bias towards bigger clubs that could influence officials' decisions. Speaking after the Man City game when they scored late on, do you feel that is true? Do you think there's a bias towards the top six? And do you feel like they've been hard done by with decisions?
I'll definitely agree that Wolves have been really hard done by for sure, because there's no way that that goal should ever have stood when there's loads of other situations where those goals have been disallowed. However, part of me maybe says that probably favour the big teams with these decisions. I don't know how that would work. I can't imagine the referees think it, but yeah, like maybe subconsciously, like he did say, there is a part of him that maybe they do just give them that little bit of edge, or I don't know how to describe it really. So part of me does agree with him, to be fair, but I don't think they go out of their way to favour the big teams. It's not the big teams are like paying off the referees at all. I don't know.
Just
don't
quickly
know really
before
how that would work.
Jack, you give your opinion on this. I just want to put out there, Wolves would have had a plus 13 swing in goal difference without VAR intervention since the start of 2019-2020. So just for that information, do what you will, Jack. But yeah, what do you think about the whole situation?
Yeah, do you know what? I really agreed with his comments, actually. I think anybody, Arsenal fans mainly, who are claiming like the Premier League is corrupt and they're doing this stuff on purpose, are talking shit. But I do agree with what O'Neill says, in that you notice this when you go away to top 6 clubs or you play against top 6 clubs. You get so many of the little decisions go against you. You know, if they're the 50-50 for a throw-in, they'll almost always go to the home side. You know, if they're the 50-50 sort of in the middle of the pitch, they'll probably give it one way or the other. The sort of little stuff that just gets bypassed. I think the Chelsea game was a great example, where Cole Palmer has decided to move the ball 10 yards forward, and it just isn't noticed by a top 6 side.
That was weird.
Whereas I can see stuff like that getting. I mean, it's a great free kick. But you can see stuff like that gets pulled back with us. You know, I think
on the flip side though, Jack, I think that does help that they play at home. So like, if that was at the Amex, you probably would have had 25,000 people or whatever shouting, "Hey, he's moved the ball!" Like people
definitely.
were screaming on the touchline. Yeah. That's the only thing.
I think there's always going to be a home advantage in that way, and I don't think that's something that's new with VAR or new with Premier League referees, or new with any referees really. I mean, I see it at non-league. If you go to a non-league ground where there's a lot of people there, you know, you've got a big home crowd, you can definitely see them making red card decisions in favour of the home side if enough people are screaming for it. I mean, I always find if I'm watching a non-league game, if I scream loud enough for a handball, the referee will think about it.
Yeah,
but,
he'll hear it.
About 20 people watching. And I don't think that's a Premier League exclusive.
Not Jack again, is it?
Yeah, that's that.
I thought he's banned.
He's at every game. How's he done this?
He's at 2 games at once. Yeah, I think I really agree with O'Neill's comments. I do think Wolves have been unbelievably unlucky, and I really don't think it's a concerted campaign against them. I think there's ways different teams play can definitely mean that more VAR decisions get made against them. I think that's a reason. I don't know what it is with Wolves, but you know, if you play a high line, you're always going to have VAR decisions because you're always trying to catch players offside. So stuff's always going to happen there. Yeah, I don't know. It's a strange one with Wolves. I just can't work out why it's happened so much to them. I do think now this is something that I'm not criticising Wolves massively for this, but referees can sort of get fed up with you a bit. Like I do think this is what's kind of happening with Arsenal a little bit, in that referees are kind of fed up with their dark arts because you know you had so much stuff from Arsenal fans saying like, "Oh, look at Benny Blanco," you know, winding everyone up. Maybe this season they've just had enough of their shit, really. And it's a shame. And Wolves, look, I'm not going to single out Wolves for being particularly bad at that sort of stuff, but they have in previous years had some absolute bastards in their team who have like you know wound me up to no end. So yeah,
Jack, on that, do you feel like it is, you know, when you got players like that in the team, do you feel like that affects referees going into the decision? Because to me, that shouldn't be a thing. That should not be, a referee shouldn't go into a game going, oh, because I'm refereeing, I don't know, let's say one of Wolves' played Cunha, for example, he's a bit of a shithouse. I shouldn't go into that game thinking, right, I'm going to be an absolute twat in this game and make sure that Wolves get really bad decisions because of a couple of players in the team.
I think, no, referees shouldn't do that. But I think O'Neill was trying to get to the point that it's subconscious. Like, you know, it's not something that you're consciously going, yeah, I'm definitely going to do it. It's sort of something which is telling you, wow, that might be a dive. So I do think the whole refereeing issue is not to do with VAR, not to do with anything. It's to do with a training issue. They just need to be made better.
Facts.
Weirdly, I've probably stood on my own on this one, but I don't actually think the goal against Man City should have been disallowed. I think that was a perfectly fine goal.
Oh yeah, I agree.
The Man City
I don't agree with Ben. I think it was absolutely fine.
I think you know, Silva.
So you don't agree?
Yeah, I don't agree with
Yeah,
Ben.
Ben, I think
So I said it shouldn't be a goal.
No, it should be a goal.
It was in my opinion, it should have been a goal, and that's what Jack's saying as well. You said it shouldn't have stood.
Yeah,
What, John Stones' one?
yeah.
Yeah.
John Stones is.
That's what everyone was complaining about. No, unless I'm getting that wrong.
Yeah,
No, but what's your opinion?
But everybody's
No, what's your opinion on it? Do you feel like it should have
I've
been?
only seen pictures. I didn't watch the match.
Great. So great.
Right, so we didn't disagree with Ben.
Yeah. So great. So thanks for that, Ben. Thanks for the input.
I don't know what's
as
happened
always.
to Ben. I don't know what's happened to Ben. Like alcohol has poisoned his mind. I don't know whether he was drinking like
Probably.
mind-altering. Like what's that? What's
yeah.
that drug in America? Like psychedelic like, mushrooms and shit. Yeah, I don't know what the fuck he's on.
He's a
but-
method. Yeah, boys, we're venturing off. But yeah, Jack, final point. Go on.
Yeah. The final point was I think that John Stones goal should have stood. I think
I agree.
I think Bernardo was in his way. He pushed him a little bit. I think the only argument you could say is maybe Bernardo fouled the keeper. But when the ball was hit, he was out of the view of the vision of the keeper. Not a problem as far as I'm concerned. Annoying, but you know, it was straight at Sat and he should have saved it. So, idiot.
Yeah, it's on him.
So,
Right.
yeah, there you go.
On that note, then, Ben, I know you're so deeply connected to this podcast, so I'm going to go with you first.
No, you know
what is?
it's just quite funny. I was doing my Virgin 5. You know when you unlock a player and then you get 5 players and then if they score you get a certain amount of money. And my Friday player was actually Strand Larson just now. What are the odds?
There you go. There you go.
I got
On
10p as well, so if he scores against Brighton, I get 10p. So let's hope he
Whoa!
does.
Don't spend all at once, big boy. Right, Ben. what is your score prediction?
Oh, yeah, I don't know. I think I said 1-1, but looking at how poor their defence have been, I'm going to say 2-1 Brighton because we should score some decent goals. Although without Welbeck, though, boys, that's going to be quite tough. He seems to be our goal getter, but we do have a Rutter. This is me just thinking out loud now, but I'm going to stick with 2-1 actually. Yeah,
2-1, nice. Jack.
Thinking out loud, another Ed Sheeran song. And I'm going to go with... Do you know what? I'm going to back us this weekend. I backed us last weekend, so let's back us again. I'm going to go 3-1 Brighton. I think we can get some late goals. And do you know what? I'm gonna back Fergie to score.
Ooh. Just quickly,
that would be nice, wouldn't it?
do you think if Welbeck's injured, do you think Ferguson starts?
Yeah, definitely. I don't think there's another
Fergie
option.
Rutter link up.
I think, that's why we've got Ferguson. That's why we've got backup players. If this is a situation and if he wants to be where he wants to be, Ferguson, it's time to step up. And that's not a criticism of him, but, we can't just, can't wrap him in cotton wool forever because he got injured and had potential. Let's chuck him in. Let's see how he gets on. Let's see how he does. Yeah.
Feed him to the wolves.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Oh.
No.
This is what I do. This is what we do on this podcast.
Jack's trying to think of something now as well.
No,
Yeah,
I thought
right.
of something, but we shan't mention that song or anything related to it. Moving on.
Okay, right, boys. Absolute pleasure as always. I don't know. Basically, I was going to say this is really good for my mental health because I do enjoy these chats. But then sometimes when I look at Ben, my mental health deteriorates. So it's very,
I've had an absolute
it's up and down.
howler.
Yeah, you are in a bad way. But anyway, boys, it's been an
Wolves
absolute
howl.
pleasure.
Get it?
Right. Okay. On that note, thank you so much. Peace out, and we'll see you
I'm
after
going
the
to
Wolves
bed
game.
and work.